Abby Fuentes, 8th grade mathematics, section 111.28, education 2323. Hello students, and welcome to Mrs. Fuentes' class. I'm so very excited to have each and every one of you here with me. This year we will be learning many different mathematical processes. The primary areas for 8th grade math that you will be studying are proportionality, expressions, equations, and relationships, and measurement and data. Proportionality. You will need to be able to use proportional relationships to describe dilations, to explain proportional and non-proportional relationships involving slope, to use proportional and non-proportional relationships to develop foundational concepts of functions, expressions, equations, and relationships. You will need to be able to develop mathematical relationships and make connections to geometric formulas, to use geometry to solve problems, to use one variable equations or inequalities in problem situations, to use multiple representations for linear equations, to identify and verify the values of x and y that simultaneously satisfy two linear equations in the form y equals mx plus b from the intersections of the graph equations.
Hello class, today we will be learning about expressions, equations, and relationships. The first part, under expressions, is variable expressions. So right here we have 4x minus 2 equals 10. You will add the 2 to both sides and get 4x is equal to 12. Then you will divide 4 on both sides and get x equals 3. And that is your answer. Now on this one, we're doing 2x plus 3 equals 15. You will subtract the 3 from both sides and get 2x equals 12. Divide by 2 on both sides and get x equals 6. And that concludes variable expressions. Hello class, we're learning about expressions, equations, and relationships. Linear equations. 3x plus 2y equals negative 16. First, we will subtract 3x from each side, which leaves us with 2y equals negative 3x minus 16. Now we will divide by 2 on both sides, and we are left with y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 16 over 2, which is 8. So, your answer is y equals negative 3/2 x minus 8. Now we're moving on to the next. 4x minus 3y equals 12. First, we will subtract 4x from both sides and get negative 3y equals negative 4x plus 12. Now we will divide by negative 3 on both sides. So we're left with y equals negative 4 divided by negative 3 is just 4 over 3x minus, because we're dividing 12 by negative 3, which is negative 4. So our answer is y equals 4/3 x minus 4. And that concludes linear equations. Hello class, today we're learning about expressions, equations, and relationships. Relationships. We see on this table that it has a time with 1 hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours, and a distance of 20 miles, 40 miles, and 60 miles. On this graph, we can see that when x is at 1, y is at 20, when x is at 2, y is at 40, when x is at 3, y is at 60. So we can conclude that y equals 20x. Now, moving on to this table, we see that x is 0, 1, 2, and 3, y is 0, 25, 50, and 75. We know that when x is at 0, y is at 0. When x is at 1, y is 25. When x is 2, y is 50. When x is 3, y is 75. So we can conclude that y is 25x. And that ends relationships.
Measurement and data. You will need to be able to process standards to use statistical procedures to describe measurements and data. I know this sounds like a bunch of things that you need to learn, but it is critical to your passing for the state test at the end of the year. I promise I will do my best to help you all out. Here is the site that contains many helpful videos for your needs throughout the year. I know each and every one of you have the ability to succeed, and I will help you gain the knowledge. Here's to a great year in Mrs. Fuentes' class.